So every single time I post something on Instagram, I make money from it. And that's what this video is going to be about. What it is I do exactly to create that level of money flow, and also like the mindset shifts I've had around Instagram in particular. If you're watching this, it's likely because you are a coach or a service provider, a mentor of some kind, and potentially it's interesting to you because for the last X amount of years, months, whatever, you've never really thought about the potential Instagram has to create steady sales for you every single day. And maybe your mentality has been only when I'm launching, because the rules say that I need to nurture my audience for some time before I can ask for the sale. This is a very different approach. I changed my approach about 6 months ago. And the biggest mindset shift that I had, which gave me a lot of permission to run with this model, was, if I were to be a social media manager or a coordinator posting every single day for a business, and I was hired to do that, they would pay me for every single post that I'm making. I personally have a lot of clients who are social media managers or agency owners or VAs, OBMs, and they have a component of running social media for their bosses and their brands. They would never not charge to post for them. So if you are like me, and I don't have a social media manager on my team, it's literally me and my husband and my assistant Deb, who mostly helps me edit the podcast these days. I am the social media manager, but I'm not paying myself to be that. So when I thought about it in that sense, I really wanted to get quite clear around my strategy. And I guess the main thing it's coming back to is why I'm choosing now to make money every single time I post on socials. So anyhow, let's get into it. There are 3 ways that I'm making content on Instagram at the moment, and I am mostly focusing on Instagram. I also have the LinkedIn platform that I use from time to time. YouTube, I have decided to start growing again. So as of this video, it's like my 4th video back in, which kind of marks 1 month back on YouTube, I think. That's crazy. So yeah, that's really cool. And then my other main platform is my podcast. I have a podcast called Flow State Business, but for today, I'm only going to focus on Instagram. So there are, for me anyway, there's 3 kind of main pieces of content that I post on Insta. So the first one is actually a reel. I don't do this as much. When I talk about reels, I mean it's the reels with let's do this, the trending music, like slow motion walking across the street and there's words over the top of a page. I don't like making those types of reels, but I do it because it does get me into the non-follower component, because there's people who will watch your stuff that are followers and non-followers, and there's a percentage of that. And I will say whenever I post a reel with a trending sound, it's a lot of non-followers who are watching that, which is great. Potential to reach new audiences, get new eyeballs on your stuff, etc. My favorite way of posting on Instagram is the carousel, and I always try and have up to 10 swipes on a carousel post. And my new favorite, maybe soon to be top favorite way of posting on Instagram is actually what I call a talking head video. So similar to this format, except I'm talking at the top and then there's a visual of whatever I'm drawing on my iPad on the bottom. And those ones are doing so well. So it's kind of got, I'll say with the follower component, a lot of my followers see my carousels up front and not a lot of non-followers. Whereas this, I feel, is kind of like a 50-50 split, which is really cool because a lot of people are sharing the talking head videos. So anyhow, just a little insight around the type of content that I'm making at the moment on Instagram. So let's have a little look. What I think might be really useful is if we jump into my Insta itself, and I'll show you that this guy, by the way, he's awesome. The Calm Cat Whisperer. Just my feed is so happy. So shout out to the Calm Cat Whisperer. I love your content. He just grooms cats, and it's just my little way of chilling out. Okay. So here is what I'm talking about in terms of the carousel. So we've got 10 swipes here, and I keep this very, very simple. It's the same photo and just, a text message over the top of it. This is one of those reels with the trending music. You may not be able to hear that, but then there's a story on top, and it's me walking through an interior design store, which is so beautiful. Message there. And then this is the talking head. So as you can see, similar to this one, but just different rearrangement. And this one's talking about this one shift that I made has helped me fall back in love with posting on Instagram. And so they are the 3 different versions. Have a think about like why you want to post all these different types of content, what's going to work best for your audience. It has taken me so long to get to this place where I feel really good with the type of pieces of content that I'm posting on Instagram itself. I've been on Instagram for 6 years now. You know, there was a time there, especially last year, where my following just completely stopped growing for like 7 months. There was a couple of years before I lost like 3,000 followers, kind of all in 2 or 3 days. And nothing that I had said, but I think what they did was cleared out a lot of bots. I have personally never bought like a bunch of followers. Like I'm not that. But what I have done is I have run ad campaigns through agencies. I've spent almost, like I think at least $150,000 on paid ads over the 7-year period, just experimenting with different ways. I know that's a lot of money, but that's a story for another day. And I got a lot of followers through that process, but a lot of them were not aligned followers. So maybe they were all bots or whatever went on there, and they all got cleared. So anyhow, I'm getting off track here. So every time I post one of these, it makes me between $300 and $2,000 every time I post. That's the part that I think gets a lot of people either wondering what I do, or they get angry at me and then they leave really nasty comments on some of these posts whenever I'm talking about it, just saying like I'm a liar or that's not true. So I thought I would squash some of those doubts as much as I can. And it's really simple, because what goes behind these posts, for example, let's go into the carousel post and actually scroll down to the caption itself. The caption is very short and it's very sweet. And you'll see here it literally says, comment 6 and I'll show you how I set up a 6-figure month from a low ticket offer. So that's it there. And then what people will obviously go ahead and comment, the letter 6 or the number 6. By the way, all of this is set up through ManyChat. So you will hear me talk about ManyChat quite a bit on this channel. That's what's really helped me change the game so much with Instagram and literally helping me get paid for every single post that I make. If we scroll down to the reel itself, this is another one, comment show me. And you'll get a 6,000 word guide. It'll walk you through how to start creating a coaching consulting offer that sells, get your hands on my complete startup strategy, the exact process I use to create my first 5K offer, the same strategy that my clients pay thousands to learn, all packed into a powerful 23-page guide. And again, you'll see here, people commenting, show me, and then all of this is automated. Like Love Natalie Holbrook wrote, show me, and then I responded, not me personally, but ManyChat responded, the 23-page guide is on its way. And what Natalie will get is a link to that 23-page guide to go ahead and check out. Now, each of my low ticket offers, they range between now $7. I've got a $7 one right up through to a $47 offer. That price point works super well for these types of pieces of content. This one here, which is the talking head, this is a longer video. This goes for almost 3 minutes long. It's a teaching video. And you can see I talk with my hands a lot. So it's really distracting when video me is going like this and then YouTube me is going like this. Anyway, this also just posted 14 hours ago. So it's relatively new. I said, comment blueprint and I'll send you my 2-part series that will completely shift how you use social media to earn. Each post I'm making on Instagram is making me anywhere between $300 and $2,000 for me daily. This post won't be an exception to that either. Every coach, mentor, and service provider needs to learn this 100. See you in Blueprint. And then off we go with Blueprint comments. So Shakira here commented Blueprint. And then I gone back to her saying, just DM'd you the details. I can't wait for you to see this. This is a slightly higher offer into the hundreds. So if you think about it, and I just kind of want to make a bit of a point here that if let's say if I'm posting this every single day, and right now I'm just doing 1 post a day, I'd love to get to more posts a day, but it's just not quite hit my cycle yet, but I think it will be happening soonish where I might post 2 or 3 times a day. Once a day is what I can commit to. I have kids, I'm very busy outside of work and things like that. But if I do this every single day, then what happens is every single post that I'm making on Instagram for the last 6 months has a call to action to it. Here is a carousel, comment stack, it goes somewhere. This is a podcast style video that goes somewhere, show me. We've had my biggest month ever, passive client growth ever, etc. Comment blueprint. So you'll see sometimes the comments are the same, like the actual words are the same. They go to the same offers. So I'm not needing to create new ManyChat funnels every single day. I'm just rinse and repeating the ones that I've already set up. But I'm just scrolling through my Insta here, and I just want to show you that every single post has a comment, like comment DSC, comment stack, comment a word. And you better believe behind the scenes, every single one of those words, they go to a form of an offer in some way. So basically, let's say we've got the talking head, which went out yesterday. I had 23 comments on that. And let's just also, sorry about the writing, if we halve that and we'll say 10 people actually asked for the link, because remembering, of the 23, I'm responding to people. So we'll just use the whole number there. So 10 people have asked for the link, and the link itself goes to, I don't know, I think it's like $150 offer. All I need to happen is 2 people actually buying this offer, and it's $300. Okay. There was also a carousel post, and it went to a $27 offer. This one's obviously nice and easy. I had 10 people buy that. That was $270. And that's close enough to 300. Let's just round it up. But just as a whole number, that's what it looks like. Now, obviously, I won't just have, maybe it's not so obvious, but I won't just have people buy a $27 offer, because on the inside of the checkout, I have things like side sells and upsells. So for the most part, even if 10 people check out, at least 3 of them will take something else, and then their average order value will go up to maybe $50, and then that changes that amount there. If I'm launching something bigger, like a 997 product, maybe it's a mastermind or a group, it's really not that unusual for me to have at least 3 people buy a 997 offer from me off the back of a talking head video, because I've built trust over the years, and there is your $3,000. So rather than, I guess, like accepting the fact that you may not get paid every single day on social media, only when you're launching perhaps, or only when you've got like a really great live offer, maybe start having a think about how you can use systems that are at our fingertips like ManyChat, and thinking about how low ticket offers can play a really strategic part of your business, play a role in your business, I should say, and how that will still help support the bigger ecosystem that you have. I have a lot of clients who are authors and speakers, and they get paid a lot for traveling around the world being personal brands. I have a lot of coaches who love their retreat days and their masterminds and charging well into, the thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I'm not saying that this model replaces what you've already got, but it actually enhances what you've already got. And if you didn't notice, before we finish up, I just want to go back to my Instagram, because one of the things that I think a lot of people have a misconception about is that I have like a really massive following. And I know numbers are going to be different for everybody, but I've got 19.7K followers. My business has made multiple millions of dollars, $4 million over the last 7 years. And the following has been pretty small and mighty in comparison to the income numbers there, but also more so than that. Let me just take you into my dashboard, because I'm just like, whatever, numbers are numbers. In the last 30 days, this is what my current stats look like. I've had, 604 followers, 215 people unfollow me. I get people unfollowing me every single day. What else can I show you here? So see that one here that's like 203K views. That one was boosted. I'll talk about boosting in another video if you guys want. Can you let me know in the comments if you want me to do something like that? This one was also boosted. But let's go to one that's organic. Okay, this one's organic. I didn't boost this one. I don't think I can. So if you want to boost carousels, keep it under 10 swipes. Anyway, let's look at the insights behind this. It's not that amazing, actually. And sometimes I'll get social media people call me out to say, you've got an alarmingly low engagement rate. I'm like, girl, I know, I'm trying to work on it, trust me. But it doesn't hamper the fact that I'm still making money off every single post. So it's okay. Engagement is one thing. Creating impact is another. Making income from it is also another. It's just sort of like where your energy is at any one point in time. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this because I'm not ashamed of my statistics anymore. And I've honestly put all of that aside so long as I know that I've got people who I'm able to help and there's a way for them to go ahead and be helped, i.e., leaving a comment, me delivering a link directly to their inbox, and they're able to binge on all of the content pretty quickly from there. And what I'm finding is that they enter the customer ecosystem and they buy again and again and again. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you like these sorts of videos showing up in your feed. I've just restarted my channel. It's going to be a lot more of these. So, come to it whenever it feels like you are wanting to change up your model or just get a refresher on how to set up passive income in your business. I've been loving documenting the whole process. Send it to your friends. And if anything, please just hit the like button if you're loving this sort of content. I've got other videos here that you can check out now, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye guys. Ciao.